and welcome back to the Chap's Guide. So, you want to improve your style, you want to elevate your personal appearance in front of others without spending a great deal of money? Well, you've come to the right place, because today I'd like to talk about an item which has been in my wardrobe for the last 10 years or so, and I'm pleased to see is gradually entering more gentlemen's wardrobes, and that is the pocket square. Now, the pocket square is a great place to start to improve your style without costing a load of money. And it's been around a long time. Now, the pocket square, as I call it, others may call it just a handkerchief, has been a part of men's dressing for many, many years. You know, you can look back to the 16th century when a pocket square, or a handkerchief as they would have called it, of course, back then, would have been nothing more than a functional part of one's attire to prevent you from having to wipe your nose on the sleeve of your clothing, which would have been very unfashionable and very ungentlemanly, of course. So carrying a handkerchief would have been a great place to start to prevent you having to do that. Now, as time went on, of course, handkerchiefs became more and more elegant, seen by the upper classes as perhaps a statement of their prestige. You know, the more elaborate, the more fanciful, the more white. Don't forget, keeping cloth white would have been a challenge, way back in the 16th, 17th, 18th centuries, when we didn't have things like biological washing powder and washing machines. So having a white item, which took a lot of laundering, would have been a definite symbol of your prestige. And, people would carry handkerchiefs, display them on their clothing. Again, still very functional. You go back to the 16th, 17th, 18th centuries in England, for instance, and people, the fashion was to use snuff. Now, for the uninitiated, snuff is a powdered form of tobacco, which has largely, thankfully, fallen out of use in the modern era. But way back then, snuff would have been taken by inhalation through the nostrils. So you'd get a piece of snuff, put on the back of your hand, snort it through your nose, and that would be how you took on your tobacco.
Of snuff. Certainly you'd be in fashion, for the habit, which recalls an era of Regency elegance and courtesy, is becoming the fashion fad of the 60s. Sniff it with precision by both nostrils and without any grimace. And that was the advice offered to snuff takers a century ago.
And of course, like anything, if you snort it through your nose, there's going to be some counter effects to that. Sneezing, and mucus. And the handkerchief would have been a required carry for anybody who was a snuff user to sort of clear that mess up when you took your snuff. Now, gradually, handkerchiefs became a must-have item for gentlemen as part of their clothing, particularly when we started to wear lounge suits as part of our fashion consciousness with clothing. And for many gentlemen, their start would have been this pocket on their lounge suit, and it's an ideal place to place the pocket square for the world to see that you've got a bit of character, a bit of colour. It's a great addition to your wardrobe. And if you look back to the sort of halcyon days of classic men's dressing, to the 30s, to the 50s, even the 60s to a degree, you'll struggle to find an image of a well-dressed gentleman on the internet or in any reference book who is not wearing a pocket square adornment to their suit, because it was just so important. And if that was the phase really where pocket squares moved away from being the functional more to the the style conscious. And in fact, many men would carry one for showing, and in their trouser pocket one for blowing as well. So you've got that sort of delineation then from the practical to the style. Of course, it's a great opportunity for gentlemen to add an element of their character to their clothing as well, because, let's be honest, most men in the modern era, when they go to work, they'll be wearing either some shade of grey suit or some shade of navy suit, coupled with either a white shirt or a light blue shirt. And it's become the corporate identity of the modern era. So there's no opportunity really within that, other than the tie, for you to show some element of your personality. And in this era, as the tie is slowly starting to ebb away of the corporate uniform, more and more men now choosing to wear open collar shirts as part of their normal wear. We're losing that element of being able to show some colour some personality with your clothing. So the pocket square has been elevated to a level of more importance, I think, when it comes to showing some class and making a bit more of a statement about the way you wish to dress. Now today many men forego the pocket square in their attire because I think perhaps they're afraid to step outside the herd, to be seen as different, to set the standard. But I think it's something that you should really consider in adding to your wardrobe for a whole host of reasons. Now where do you start? Well, you can start with the cotton handkerchief for a start. We've all got one of these. We've all been given a cotton handkerchief, white cotton handkerchief, as a Christmas present or a birthday gift. I know I've had many over the years. Very grateful for them too because, they're very practical, very useful. But also, you don't have to go out and buy a pocket square because you've got some in your wardrobe at home. And the addition of a simple white pocket square to any suit can really elevate it amongst all of those peers who are around you because you've made that bit of a difference. And mostly because most men wear a white shirt with their suit, whatever colour suit they're wearing. The white shirt and the white pocket square makes an excellent accompaniment. And it really just shows that you've made that effort, you've thought about it, and that little bit of colour, well, albeit not really colour, but a little bit of white, elevates you amongst everybody else around you as somebody who makes a difference, as somebody who's chap. Now as your confidence grows, you can start to curate a small collection of pocket squares, or a large collection as I have, and you can marry that pocket square to the clothes that you're wearing, but also, and far more importantly, the event that you're going to, and even the mood that you're in. Now for me, this is my box of pocket squares here with me today. I've probably got 50 or so pocket squares in there, curated together as a collection over many years. And in the morning, far from being a chore, when I look at that box of squares, I go rummaging, looking for the colour which suits my mood for the day and the thing that I'm going to do. So what do I mean by that? Well, not only do I marry it up with the colours I'm wearing. So the last thing you want to do is wear a pocket square which clashes with the tie that you're wearing or the shirt that you're wearing. So, you pick your colours accordingly, but then you have another element of choice. You can choose your pocket square based on how you feel that day. So if you're feeling particularly confident, powerful, strident in your mood, you can choose those colours which reflect that. So here we go. Here's a bright red with a couple of little blue polka dots. That to me says strength, confidence, dominance. Red is an alpha colour. It's a primary colour. It dominates the room. When you wear red, you're making a statement of intent that you have arrived. You're the alpha person in the room. Yellow. Yellow is quite a strong, strident colour again. So this pocket square, predominantly yellow in colour, but it really sets a standard. It's bright, it's sunny. Yellow encourages happiness. It encourages honesty. And it's a colour which you can, wear if you're going to a meeting, an event where you're meeting somebody. It's a nice summer's day. Yellow brings an element of the sun into your clothing and really elevates it. White even. White, a very stark colour, one might say, but here's a white pocket square with some little motifs on it. Again, it's a strong colour. If you're wearing a dark coloured suit, the addition of a mostly white pocket square signals intent, arrival. It says, look at me, look at this. And it is an expression of your character and how you're feeling that day. On the other hand though, if you don't feel that strong will that day, you can wear colours which perhaps are more muted. So look at this. This is a silk pocket square. It's an indeterminate colour really. It's got all sorts of different colours going on, but it doesn't strike you in the face. It's not so powerful as to overwhelm the things that you're wearing. And in fact most of my pocket squares are quite colourful. Here's another one which has got all sorts of different colours going on, so it doesn't dominate in any particular way. So lots of colours there which say something about you, say the mood that you're in and how you're feeling on that particular day. One of the great things with pocket squares is that they don't have to break the bank. They're a really great addition to your wardrobe without having to spend out a load of money. As I've said, you've probably already got a white cotton handkerchief in that sock drawer at home. You can bring that out, start bringing that into regular wear. Once you've, as I say, you've gained some confidence, you want to build some more up. So where do you buy them? Well, in recent years, I've noticed pocket squares are really starting to come back. You're starting to see more and more of them in high street shops. And the beauty of that is you don't have to spend a powerful amount of money to start building a collection. Now you could, of course, you could go to Savile Row or Jermyn Street in London and go into any of those high-end retailers, and you could easily spend 50 and upwards pounds for a hand-screen silk printed pocket square, which is a work of art and will be an heirloom for you to pass on to your family. Me, I don't have that sort of money, and I also like to have a large collection to choose from for the reasons we've just talked about. So I'd rather have a collection of, I don't know, polyester blend rather than silk, because ultimately, is it really that easy to tell when you've got them in your pocket? I would say probably not. So I source the majority of my pocket squares from eBay, AliExpress, places like that where you've got the world at your fingertips to be able to source these products. The vast amount, so a pocket square like this, a simple, relatively, bit small really, but a simple, relatively small pocket square, £1, 99 pence, free delivery. Admittedly, it will have been made in China. So the efficacy of this purchasing is down to you. It depends on how you feel about buying from the developing world or how much money you have to spend. But for me, I've built this collection very modestly priced, and it really does help me in, having that collection there to make a choice when I'm going out in the morning to what I'm going to wear. So your next question, after you've curated a collection, is how do I fold them? What is the secret to folding a pocket square with panache? Well, the truth is, there's no secret to it. I mean, you can go online here, you can do a search, and I'm sure there will be umpteen videos which show you how to fold a pocket square in a particular way. But for me, I don't have any of that. I have a thing, what I call the chaos fold. And it's just simply putting the pocket square into the pocket in as natural a fashion as possible so that it just looks a bit disorganized, disoriented. That's why I call it the chaos fold. There's no folding at all. You just stuff it in. Now, I like that because if you think, in menswear in general, the way we dress is quite regimented. There are a lot of straight lines. There are a lot of rules and regulations to the way that we wear our clothes. And the one place that you can step outside that, for me, is the pocket square. You're bringing a garish colour into your clothes in some case. You're doing something different. You're doing something uniquely individual to you. And that extends to the way it's presented in your pocket. So don't feel that you've got to have these multiple folds. The simplest fold is just having, a 1/4 of an inch of the square sticking out above your pocket in a line. The simplest fold of all, the president fold, and it looks great. But, for me, I like to just slam it in there so there's, up to maybe an inch sticking out the top, and people can see it there. They know it's been placed in the pocket with an element of disregard for the rules, and that's what I like about it. Now, folding the square can be annoying for many people because a lot of people say, well, do you know what? I don't like wearing a pocket square because ultimately it keeps creeping down the pocket. However, I get it just the way I like looking at it. It will, as the day wears on, and you don't have to move around very much, and it'll fall down the pocket, and then you have to spend the day poking it up again, getting it just to look right. Well, there is a little trick which I have to stop that happening. You might have seen this in a previous video I've done about men's accessories, but it is, and I'll show it to you here, it is in fact the pocket square frame. Now this particular pocket square frame is just a black plastic ladder effect matter, which is, and basically, and I'll show you how it's done. I'll just pick another square. Here we go, here's a white one. Nice and easy to see. So you poke the pocket square through the little ladder steps so that it's sticking out the top. You can get it, the fold as you like. You shove it in your pocket. And then, because the pocket square is held up by the ladder, and the ladder is sitting on the bottom of my pocket, that the pocket square, you can see visually above my pocket, will not creep down. It'll remain in place all day without you having to do anything. It's the easiest thing in the world to, get any sort of pocket square fold. Perfect for the chaos fold, my patented fold myself, and as you can see, looks great all day long. Now these can be purchased online. I think I bought mine from Amazon, but you don't have to buy them. I mean, once you've bought one perhaps, you can make them. You know, I've made these from, as you can see, bits of a, you know, of a packing case, or bits of, you know, a cereal packet or whatever, and it's exactly the same thing. In fact, I used my ladder there as a template to make these, but now you've seen them, it'll be dead easy for you to make them as home as well, just as easily, and they work just as effectively. It's just exactly the same thing. I'll take out my plastic one, I'll get my little yellow pocket square here, and I'll do exactly the same as I just did. Just poke it through the steps in my little ladder here to make sure that the pocket square is sticking up. There we go. I can get it in place, stick it in the pocket, and boom, there you go. Exactly the same effect has been achieved, and all I've done is used a bit of a packing case in that case, just to get it looking just right above the pocket. And once you've titillated it, put it in place, it's set there for the day. So it's not a complex matter, doesn't have to cost you a penny. The actual plastic ones, 3 for £10 I think they were, or 3 for $10 in fact, I think, off Amazon. So you needn't spend a lot of money, and you can make one yourself in minutes at home. So no need to spend any money at all. So there we go, that's the pocket square. Now there's only one other rule which I'd like to share with you, which I think is important, and that is not just the way that you wear your pocket square, but how you harmonise it with your clothing. There's one hard and fast rule that I never breach, and that is you should never harmonise your pocket square with your tie. Now you will see these gift sets, normally inexpensive, where you can buy a tie with a matching pocket square. And you imagine it's a good, good fit. You put the tie on and you've got the square then to match. Absolutely not. It shows you've taken little effort in selecting your pocket square. Remember, the pocket square is an extension of your personality. It's not something that comes in a gift pack. So never harmonise your tie and your square to truly be chap. Because I can assure you, if you do and you walk into a room and there is a genuine chap in the room, they will be looking at you thinking, okay, he's got the pocket square, but he's just, wearing a kit, a gift set that his auntie or uncle gave him last Christmas. He's not really chap. So make that little distinction, never marry them up, and you'll be doing well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's trot through the pocket square. Why not start off with getting a pocket square today, getting that white cotton hanky out and using it as a pocket square tomorrow, and then as time goes on, build your collection too. It doesn't have to cost a penny. If you have enjoyed this video, please click that like button. Please subscribe so you won't miss future editions of the Chap's Guide, and don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section below. I really do love hearing what you guys think, and I love interacting with you as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope I will see you again very soon. Until then, I hope you stay well. I hope you remain safe, and gentlemen, until the next time, goodbye.